When people see an opportunity, they'll run for it.
Slambini, umsebenzi awukho. Ngithi uyabona sizodlana thina. Ngoba phela njengoba zama siqekezela umlungu, anitshontshe inkomo yamuntu, anitshontshe imbuzi yabantu. Manithi niyazivala la kufanele ukuthi yontsontsha yini na.
It was an experience really that also highlighted social ills in that community. The first time I saw it was on social media. It was something else. It was really something else because the number of people that were there were a lot. And you think because this thing has been happening for the past couple of days, obviously the numbers would drop. But immediately as you enter the area, you find a number of police officers who are even directing journalists and the people that are coming there to say, okay, the place that you're looking for is that way.
Ngifisa ukuthi uma ngabe kuyiwo ke ngihamba impela ke ngiyowashintsha impela ayi. Nami ke ngibona ukuthi ngivusa liphi ibhizinisi engilivusa engizoliphatha ngezandla zami.
And when you start interacting with people, because as journalists, you try to get information, who's in charge, because in a place like that, you'd find that there would be someone who's in charge. But people were telling us that they were from different parts of the country. Others were from Gauteng, and they had traveled all the way to Gwahlat in Ladysmith to dig for this diamond.
They say diamonds are forever. And many here are digging for dear life, hoping the supposed diamonds will pull them out of the dark hole of poverty, unemployment, and usher them into everlasting fortunes.
There were a lot of people as well that came from that same community who came out in their numbers to start dig for this diamond. And it was believed that this would be their way out of poverty. So you get to witness different dynamics and the different kind of people that are traveling. You see the extent of desperation from people wanting to just break away from poverty. And if this is their way out of poverty and to the riches, then they'll dig and have as much as possible.
Ekuseni bebaningi la yabona kodwa hayi ngafika nangomgqibelo ngathola amatshe awu-40
khona engike ngawathengisa kunakhona ade ngisiza nje abantu abawo mzala kimi ngokuthi baqhele kakhulu abakhona ukufika la.
If you look at the surroundings, there's very little development in terms of schools, in terms of just recreational facilities for the kids and jobs, economic development in the area. How far is it from, the central business district? So if you look at the issue around access to water, they say they don't have consistent water supply. This particular development would address every single thing that they're struggling with. It would mean for all those trucks to come in and start digging, roads would have to be built. But we also do know that mining companies have a responsibility, according to the law, to develop the communities that they mine in and make sure that they build houses, they build whatever that they need to build or develop in those communities. So for them, it was at that moment that, they decided we are going to be stern, we're going to put our foot down to make sure that whatever happens and whatever outcomes will benefit us.
They've pinned their hopes on this. For now, it seems this is their only ticket out of poverty.
It's unemployment that is rife here and also poverty. Now, as you did see that now the majority of people that were there are women and children. It's a very poor community. Yeah, people are not working, most of them.
You see, the thing about poverty and hunger is that it knows no boundaries. When people see an opportunity, they'll run for it despite the dangers that are involved. COVID regulations were right at the back of their minds. You know, you could see how one person they would even borrow each other the tools that they were using. And we know with COVID, things exchanging hands, no sanitizer in sight. If they get this diamond, then they probably would be able to afford a doctor and, you know, I get the necessary medical attention.
Everyone really is wishing that this be a true the real diamond, because, I mean, there'll be some job opportunities.
They didn't even care about that. I remember speaking to one gentleman who said, well, they will come here and want to take the stone, but they never cared to come to our area to develop our area. They never cared to, come and build roads and all of those things that will allow us to build a life for ourselves. So this is our moment to create the life that we want to create for ourselves. I mean, an entire market had been formed around that area. You found abogogo, you know, the grannies that were selling on the sidelines of what was happening there. You also found young people who had discovered the stone, selling it to the people who got there and did not necessarily have the tools, did not have, did not know how to dig, but had the buying power. They had the money, so they got there. They bought the stone until they heard that the Department of Mineral Resources was going to send a delegation to come and investigate. And that's when things started getting tense. You could see from a distance the convoy coming in. You could see from it. And at that moment, you could feel the tension that, okay, so now they're here.
There was a mixed reaction, really, to the arrival or the sight of the authorities who had come, to speak to community members. And everyone literally stood up and faced the direction.
And everyone just stood there, did not want to move. Everybody took their positions. You know, all the people that had their tools moved to the spaces where they were standing or they were digging. And we could see that a couple of journalists were also part of that convoy. We then went down and you could see them coming together to start discussing how they were going to approach the community. You know, on the other side, you have scores of people that are waiting to defend what they believe is theirs.
In fact, one gentleman, even took to the front to call for those who are responsible for issues like water and electricity in the area to come first and first deal with the basic services before they jump to test these stones.
And on the other side, you have a delegation from the Mineral Resources Department who want to come and assess.
For them to do their work, they would like to go around, see what you have, make some notes. Now, they won't finish their work today. Okay. They will have to go back and analyze and then come back with a report when they are ready.
But because obviously the land is under traditional leadership, that particular delegation would have to engage the chief first before they could come in. And the chief also needed buy-in from the residents.
So bese sinothile phela makuthiwa yilo sibangaka hawo abantu bakithi abamnyama banothile inqwaba izophela indlala.
Ifila ngibillionaire njengamanje mangathiwa kuthola ukuthi idiamond ngithenga amaplaza mfowethu kahle kahle ngifuna ukuthi ngiphilise abantu yabona.
Nami ngijabule ngafa impela mangiza kuthiwa nakho kuyambiwa la khona ukutholakalayo nami ngathi hayi ake ngigqugquzele ngakhona mhlawumbe ngiyoba ngenhlanhla ke nakho ngabuya nakho ngiphethe.
They were crystals, and obviously one can imagine, that at that moment hope dwindles. What would have happened had it been diamonds? Would we be seeing more and more officials going there, promises of a better life, promises of a better development? But now that it's crystals and not stones, what happens? I think it kind of reflects a similar pattern in what is happening in our country with particularly the forgotten communities, that it's not only until something happens or something tragic happens in that community that we know about them and that services would get to them. And neglected many of our communities in the country.